Every time Jack would drink, he would just, he would kiss me, and then he would say, like, you're the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. I know you're my wife because you don't do OnlyFans. He would tell me, I know you're my wife because my wife would never do OnlyFans. So that kind of stuck with me. I was like, he's supportive of me, and like maybe I could just be like a supportive girlfriend and not do the whole OnlyFans thing. We end up going to bed, and I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. And I just felt so violated.
So I'm going to be totally real with you. I really wish this Jack Doherty saga would have ended on my last video, which happened to be the saga video, the 4-hour-long video that you most likely did not finish. It's understandable, okay? But I would like to say today's video, along with whatever ones I make after it, because I might have to make more than one because this is very long. Well, today's video and probably the next few videos I make on Jack Doherty and, McKinley coming out with her story on a podcast that has over 2 million views, and then I guess they made another video that has 1 million. These videos are going to be serious as Jack Doherty's ex-girlfriend McKinley Richardson has came out and detailed her story on all the bad things that Jack did to her and other people around him. Now, first and foremost, I know we don't like Jack, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Even though I did make that almost 1 hour long video last year going over the other allegations that came out against Jack Doherty at the time. Regardless of all the things that Jack Doherty has been accused of, whether with proof or without proof, as of today and most likely the 5 hours of content that we are going to be going over with this interview, unless there is specific proof, I'm going to be taking this with a grain of salt to a certain extent. And I'm not saying I'm not going to listen to her and her story. That's not what I'm saying here, because I know there are probably going to be some people out there who are going to like try and twist it or whatever. But until we hear Jack's side, which he's probably going to lie, let's be real, I'm gonna sit here and be somebody who is listening to the person who is claiming that bad things happened to them and they were being taken advantage of. And we're not gonna discredit or any of that bullshit. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to say these are things that she is saying that allegedly happened, and I don't want anybody here, including myself, to take this and run with this only to be wrong. And yeah, regarding hearing both sides of this, I haven't seen anywhere where Jack has responded to any of this despite these videos having a total combined view count of 3 million views. So yeah, that may or may not be a telling sign, but also at the same time, who knows, maybe he could be making a response or whatever. I mean, highly doubt it, but until then, I think you guys get what I mean. And without further ado, let's get into this. So for those who are unaware, on March 25th, 2025, that was around 6 or 7 months ago, I put out a video titled Jack Doherty's girlfriend finally left him. And in that video, we went over Jack and McKinley's breakup, and you guys all probably remember it. McKinley went to go grab her belongings and the police were there and everything. And while that was all happening, Jack was totally disrespecting the officers and even McKinley's friend who was there supporting her. I'll show a clip for those who do not remember.
I didn't threaten you, bro. Bro, how did I threaten you?
Can you stay over there?
Fuck that. You're in my house. You're unreal, bro. You're in my house. Tell me what the fuck to do.
This is her house.
She doesn't pay for it. I'm sorry.
Doesn't matter.
It's not your house.
Doesn't matter.
Nah, this is fucking crazy. McKinley, what the fuck are you doing?
Getting all my shit, Jack.
Dude, who the fuck is this bitch? You get the fuck out of my house, bitch.
No,
yeah,
Jack,
stay the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out. Get out.
Stop.
Dave, tell her to get the fuck out of the house.
No, it's my
Nah,
friend.
Dad, get this stupid ass bitch.
I mean, yeah, he's just being the classic Jack Doherty. Total asshole, doesn't think he could have caused what was currently going on at that time. And he also wants to say that, she used him and she's taking his money and stuff like that. Like, if you guys have seen my previous videos, like the one where I made a video when they went on that cruise and Jack makes a joke and McKinley doesn't like it, and he refuses to acknowledge his girlfriend's feelings and stuff like that. They end up having an argument in his room, and then he goes on to make the whole thing about himself. Because if you guys don't remember, in that video that I show where they're fighting, they're going back and forth, and she's trying really hard to get Jack to even consider her feelings, only for Jack to pull out the victim card and say that, oh, he's been streaming, putting a lot of effort into like content, making money, while everybody who he brought with him to this cruise was not being appreciative or grateful that they were brought on this cruise, essentially making it about himself. And basically he said, fuck everybody else's feelings, I'm the only one that matters. That's basically how it comes off to me. It comes off very narcissistic. Oh, I could never do anything wrong. That kind of thing, right?
Oh my gosh! She looks like fucking Michael Jackson. I didn't mean it like that.
You're a fucking asshole. Give me the key, and I'm done.
No.
Actually, give me the key, and I'm going to the room. You're so mean.
I didn't mean it like that.
Stop.
Oh.
Give me the key. Mean things to me when you're streaming, Jack. Why do you say mean things and make me look stupid? You humiliate me, and it's for the camera. And this, I know you're loving this right now too, because you like when I'm sad on this thing. And I'm sorry that I can't.
I don't like when you're sad on this thing. You try to think I like when you're sad on this thing.
No,
but it's like
why do you
you're
ask
the
me?
only person that gets emotional over what the chat says. It's like, how do you take them seriously?
I don't. I'll be minding my own damn business at the bar, and then you'll come up to me and say some rude shit.
Like, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, I already knew that something was going on behind the scenes, something that was as bad as what McKinley describes in this part 1 interview, and we'll get to that. I just wanted to explain, like, it was very clear to at least me that Jack was not treating his girlfriend like an actual girlfriend. And other people, as I was posting videos, like I posted one where one of the island boys hit McKinley in the Sprinter van or whatever, and instead of seeing if his girlfriend is okay, because you would think that that would be like the first thing he would do when something like that would happen, well, no, essentially he was too engaged with what was going on with people fighting in the van, and he failed to realize that his girlfriend was like on the floor and wanted, well, first of all, nothing to do with this fight, and was yelling and saying like help and stuff like that, and Jack's just sitting there doing nothing. He's more, like I said, engaged with this fight that is currently going on.
Try, dumbass. Nice try.
What's good? What's good? Hey, not with me around. What's good? We're not. Nobody fight. Nobody fight. Nobody fight. Yo, nobody fight.
Oh, he's kicking.
Which it makes sense, of course, but like, bro, I feel like the first thing that you would think about when something like this is going on, and something that he failed to realize, is that his girlfriend is on the ground and there's this fight happening not even like 5 feet away from her. Like, just imagine you're like a female like McKinley here, and like a fight just breaks out with all of the other men. I mean, can we even call them men at this point? I think you guys would get what I mean though. Like, bigger, stronger than her, like physically, right? And Jack's just sitting there doing nothing but being involved with the fight, playing it up for the camera and whatnot. Like, I think you guys get what I mean here. Like, people even realize small little things like that, because I think most of us guys who have girlfriends, I don't even know why I said us there, but no, most of us would realize that, hey, maybe the first thing you should be worrying about in this case when a fight actively breaks out by you and your girlfriend is making sure that she's okay and she didn't like get stepped on or like punched or attacked or whatever, right? Like, you should just be looking out for your significant other, and he clearly does not do that in this clip that you see right here. So guys, keep that all in mind as we go through this interview with McKinley, and I know it's long. I'm gonna try and shorten it down a little bit to like the key points, right? So we can get through all of it and not have the longest video ever. But as we go through all of this, with the examples I showed you guys, and just knowing how Jack is as a character, would we be surprised that he would not protect his girlfriend from somebody allegedly SAing her? Because I mean, frankly, with a lot of this, it doesn't seem like, I mean, he does, like, remember how I said, massive stuttering by the way, remember how I said actions speak louder than words, right? Like, Jack can say all of this, he loves his girlfriend, she's my wife, whatever, future wife. He can sit there and say all the greatest things about her and how much he likes her or loves her, whatever, right? But I ain't buying it. Jack says a lot of things coins. Jack even says that like his fans are going to be making money from his meme crypto coins, when if you look at anything he actually does and you look at these graphs, it looks like it got pumped and then dumped. So what do we think that means? Yeah, exactly. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. So within the first 15 minutes of this podcast episode, this part 1, it's essentially the introduction and how McKinley met Jack in the first place, in which she has detailed very specifically how they met. I have this all written down on my notes, in which she claims that she met Jack through Sam Frank, because even before she knew who Jack Doherty was or any of his friends or his employees, right? She happened to be friends with Sam Frank because she was modeling for brands in LA and Las Vegas. She also details how she didn't have like too many friends, IRL friends, so she relied on social media quite a bit actually to make friends and to stay connected with those friends while she was traveling and doing modeling. And how she specifically met Jack Doherty and his team was one day Sam Frank decided to invite McKinley to hang out with her and Jack and his team in the hills in LA. She also detailed how she noticed that Jack would always seem to keep to himself and be on his phone, but despite that, she does talk about how she loved the people who were around him and they seemed like good people. She also detailed how she assumed that it was a group of friends making money doing content, up until one point where she realized that they made all of their money through mainly OnlyFans. And by the way, just for context, this is me summarizing what she was saying, just reading off of some notes here. Once again, if you want to hear exactly what she said, how she said it, you can go check out that video, but for time's sake, I'm just trying to detail this pretty fast. She also mentions not wanting to do OnlyFans and later says that friends tried pressuring her into doing it. And then she elaborates more on that, how she was, raised in like a conservative household, conservative parents that wouldn't really appreciate her doing things like that, let alone that like despite that, I'm pretty sure she said that she doesn't want to do that. She was also asked during this interview within the first 15 minutes if she had any knowledge on whether or not anyone was managing the girls' OnlyFans, because you know how this is with these allegations and like Jack Doherty allegedly locking these girls into predatory OnlyFans contracts. We talked about that in my 1-hour video, the one that's called Jack Doherty Got Exposed Big Time, and we did a little bit of a follow-up a little bit later last year titled Jack Doherty Needs to Be Stopped, the underage allegations, because somebody came out and accused him of having this 16-year-old at his place on live stream. And yeah, let's just say Jack Doherty doesn't have a good track record when it comes down to having underage people around him, let alone allegedly recruiting them. And this is allegedly, by the way. People have come out and accused him of doing this, but there isn't definitive proof on it. That's why I'm saying that nobody should be running with this yet, but I think we all know who Jack Doherty is and how great of a person he is, and it really wouldn't be that surprising if that did come out, because we've had multiple people come out and accuse him of doing this, and it was people around him essentially. It was not just like some random person. No, it was people around him, like ex-employees and stuff like that. Once again, if you want to catch up on that, I do have that 1-hour video where I go over the situation where Jack's ex-employee came out against him and accused him of all this stuff. And you would think too, if he was lying, if this was not true, wouldn't Jack sue him? Now, all right, I need to stop. We need to get back to what we were talking about, but just keep all this in mind, okay? Nothing is for sure, but Jack did a very terrible job defending himself from these allegations, so I'm not too sure if he didn't do it. Anyways, McKinley has claimed that she has no knowledge of whether or not anyone was managing the girls when she was asked during this interview. Anyways, moving forward, because I don't want to sit here all day and detail every little thing that she said. If you want to hear every little thing she said, you can go to that interview. But essentially, all you really need to know about this is that she had a good impression of this group. The group also claimed that they loved her and wanted her to come down to Florida to go hang out with them in Florida. And this is where things take a little bit of a turn, because she told them that she didn't have any money after LA, and then she details how Jack DM'd her and wanted to cover her expenses so that she could come down there and stay with them. She also goes on to detail that one of her friends was told by Jack that the only bed that was available at the place that they would be staying at was Jack's bed. And I'm gonna play the clip of this so you guys can like hear it how she says it, but just remember what I detailed earlier, and with the clips too, she had never really spoken to or met Jack because he was like involved with his phone and kept to himself for the most part, right? And she even talks about this too, but it's really fucking weird to say what he did about apparently his bed being the only bed that was available when they didn't even know each other. Just take a look.
I wanted to stay with her, she sent that to Jack, and then Jack said, the only bed available is mine. But at this time, Jack and I were not even on talking terms. We didn't even have each other's phone number. This came out later on. One of his ex-employees that left him, he actually posted it. And I would have never known, like, he said that he was, like, interested in me sharing a bed with him after not even having, like, any conversation. Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, definitely weird, especially when she talks about how essentially the vibe was off when she got there, and Jack and the other girls were not even there when she got there. And when it comes down to it, not being there for when your guest shows up, that's pretty rude, especially when, I mean, he had like his other employees there allegedly. They were guys, you know, she has no idea what she's walking into. She's staying with them, and it's very understandable why she would want to be alone and nowhere near these guys alone that she did not know. And personally, if you ask me, one of the things that got me, and I know this is what they do, is when I'm first showing up to a place after, you know, I've traveled for like hours and hours on a plane, right? I'm not trying to like go out to the club or something or like just be like, go, go, go. I'm just trying to relax, bro. Like, just give me a day or something. Like, tomorrow we can go out to the club. Tomorrow we can go to the beach, go on the yacht, whatever you want to do. Just let me chill, bro. I was like on a plane for hours and I'm only trying to relax because that plane sucked dick. Now, anyways, moving on. Something I was not expecting, and I'm gonna play the clip. I'm gonna let her detail it. I'm not gonna summarize or anything. I'm just gonna play the clip. But you know, fast forwards, she details how they got back. You know, everybody was going to bed, whatever. And this is where things get bad, okay? She essentially starts detailing an alleged essay that took place because apparently she woke up to find somebody's hand where it shouldn't have been. And she'll detail this more because I'm gonna play the clip so you can hear how she says it, exactly how she says it, because let's be real, people need to hear the story. So yeah, without further ado, let's roll the clip.
He had a hometown friend there that he had known
Staying with
us in the house.
Okay.
He had just came from New York because that's where Jack is from. They had apparently went to high school together. We went out this one night. Jack and I are obviously very together. Like, we were hugging on each other, all over each other. And I even remember his name's I remember came up to both of us and was like, you guys are so cute. Like, so he obviously knew. He had a girlfriend that was in New York as well, but he was here for spring break and just to, you know, see Jack. He was very respectful, didn't really talk to me that much. We ended up going back home. We're, you know, drunk. I wasn't as drunk as I would normally be because Jack was really drunk, and I would also make sure he was okay and make sure everyone got home safe. He had his jewelry on, and I would even change him because he would be so intoxicated. So we end up going to bed, and I just remember waking up and his hand was in my pants. I was in the middle of him and Jack. And I just felt so violated and scared. Like, I had never been through a situation like that ever. And not knowing who it was, like, I just woke up to a dark figure in the room next to me, laying in bed with his hands in my pants. I woke up freaking out. I pushed him away from me, and I'm like trying to tap Jack, and I'm like, Jack. And he's drunk as shit. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm pushing this guy off of me, and he doesn't care. I turned to the side, like closer to Jack, and I'm like trying to tap him. I'm basically on top of Jack in his back. And
W boyfriend, guys. W fucking boyfriend. W Jack Doherty. What a pathetic fucking loser, bro. I'm just gonna say right now, I believe this happened. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything right, but I believe this happened. Along with, I mean, this is why you need to be watching me and not some of these other people who are covering the situation. And I say this because they most likely do not have this information because they weren't even around, or at least I don't think they were around when Matthew, one of Jack's ex-employees, came out against Jack, and then him and Jack were going back and forth on Twitter, right? Well, I covered all all of that in my almost 1 hour video, the one I talked about earlier, where the ex-employee comes out and exposes Jack. And again, we don't for sure know that Jack has done everything that was covered in my video. But again, are we going to be surprised? Let alone that we already know that Jack doesn't protect his fucking girlfriend. Jack was a lame excuse of a fucking boyfriend to her. And how am I going to sit here watching her literally cry on camera, real fucking tears, as she's recalling what happened and be like, yeah, no, sorry, it didn't happen or some shit, or guys, we need to take this with a grain of salt. Really? And what makes it worse, and I'm not saying we should use Jack Doherty as a fucking source, but I'm pretty sure you guys are not going to remember this because either you just found my channel today or maybe a few months ago, or you probably forgot. But in the Jack Doherty got exposed big time video, the almost 1 hour video, right, where I go over all of the allegations that the ex-employee came out with, well, Jack Doherty responds to Matt, or Matthew JGL, that is the ex-employee. Figured I'd say it one more time so everybody is on the same page. But essentially in my video doing a full recount of the situation, I go over this tweet where Jack is saying apparently my ex-employee Matthew JGL has spent the last year of his life trying to expose me online for clout. I'm done ignoring it. The first girl he SA'd was a girl named Sammy at my first house in LA, and nobody wanted to believe her because we all thought Matt, our friend at the time, would never do something like that. But after I hired him a year later and he lived with me, the same thing and worse has happened over and over again. And I have multiple other girls ready to come forward about it. And one of those girls is my current girlfriend that he SA'd the very first day she came to my house. And me and about 10 of my friends had to break down the door because he locked himself in her room and she was screaming and crying for help. Well, here's the thing, if anybody didn't notice, there's a little bit of an inconsistency with this story, and who am I more likely to believe? Like, I know it's Jack Doherty. We already know that he's probably on some bullshit, but we got Jack accusing Matthew JGL, the former employee of his that came out trying to expose him. He said that apparently he's the one who SA'd Sammy, which was one of the girls at the time. I'm pretty sure the underage girl, the alleged underage girl. But yeah, besides that, he's accusing Matthew of SAing all of these girls around him. And what does he do? What does Jack do? And I think I should have pointed this out before if this is true, because it kind of like destroys his defense. Why would you let somebody like that, who you thought was your friend, right? I mean, if one of my fucking friends does it, you're no longer a friend, bro. No longer a fucking friend, and you're done. I never want to talk to you ever again. And if there's anything I can forward or report to the police, you're done, bro. And I know how the authorities are with, you know, SA victims. I get it, okay? But I'm saying you are not going to be anywhere near me, let alone my female friends or my girlfriend. You're never going to be anywhere near us, bro. You're done. You ruined it. And honestly, you'd be lucky if I don't come and personally like rip your nut off, dude, if not the whole package. But what I'm trying to say is Jack is sitting here saying that Matt did it. Matt did it, right? He did it to multiple people. We thought he was, you know, our friend at the time or whatever. So we allowed him to continue fucking doing what he was doing. And this is allegedly, by the way, because we don't know for sure. And I don't want to sit here and believe Jack. He's lied multiple times. And for all we know, it could have been somebody else around him. But the fact that he's saying that, oh yeah, this person was going around SAing all the females around me and whatnot, and oh, we didn't do anything because he was our friend or whatever. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Talk about negligence. Holy shit. Like, man, depending on how this goes, we might have to do a revisit on this video, because let's be real, this is probably one of the best videos I've ever made, and some of this might actually be coming full circle.
He just is saying, I'm gonna fuck you right now. And I woke him up, and Jack woke up, and he was like, I was like, get him out of here. Like, I don't know what to do. And he's trying to hunt me from the back while I'm talking to Jack, and Jack is awake. And Jack is like, bro, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? Go. And he was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking her right now. And I was just shaking. I was crying. I was in shock. And he just gets up and leaves the room. And I stayed awake that whole entire night. Like, Jack went to bed. And I just was like, there's no way that fucking happened to me right now. Like, I don't know what to do. I wanted to go home. But I was like, well, in the morning, like, I guess, like, Jack will remember.
So yeah, as she says, she was SA'd, and just like what Jack said, besides, I mean, we don't know if Matt did it or not. If Matt, you're currently watching the video, you might or might not be, you might not care. I think you should respond to that because I don't know, after McKinley came out and then you got Jack from a while back saying that you were the one who did it. Like, bro, trust me, if you didn't do it, you might want to come out and say something about it. I know that like the eyes are not on you currently, but I just brought it back up because I remembered faintly that Jack did accuse you of SA against a whole bunch of females that were around him. But anyways, like she detailed, she was talking about how Jack was, you know, drunk and he wasn't doing enough that he should have about what happened to her as it was happening too. Because just the fact that like you got Jack on one side and somebody else on the other side, another guy on the other side, it's like, bro, what are we doing? Once again, negligence. Now, anyways, despite Jack's tweet from a while back that I was going over in the other video, McKinley goes on to claim that the next day after this happened, she talked to Jack about it, and then he went to go talk to like the group of the guys, right? And then she details how apparently she did not see that guy ever again.
We ended up going back home and I pulled Jack aside. I was like, I need to talk to you. And I was like, do you remember what happened last night? He was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I was like he did that to me. Like, and I explained it in detail and he was like, holy shit, I remember. He was like, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry. He was hugging me. I was emotional and I could tell he was getting emotional. And I just remember him going outside and telling Logan, who was his friend that he worked with, and like all of the guys that were there. And I don't know what conversation they had with him, but from that day forward, I had never seen ever again. Like Jack fully cut him off. He wasn't at the house at all. And it eventually came out like later on while Jack and I were dating for over a year, he had texted Jack and apologized and said that he was on drugs that night and he was tested positive. And he said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. I was on drugs. I know. I don't know.
Fucking shit. Sick fuck.
I know. So that was like a traumatic experience that I had that I had never been through. And Jack was the one person that was there that knew about it, that he was in the same bed as me. And he was there and he comforted me. And I told him, I was like, I just want to go home. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm so uncomfortable.
Obviously.
And he was just like, no, like, you're amazing. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, this happened to you. I'm going to protect you. This will never happen ever again. Like, you're safe with me. Like, you can stay in my bed. You can be with me. You're going to be okay.
So I guess he did something about it, despite saying that apparently this also happened to many other girls. Or maybe we got two different situations. Maybe Jack lied. Who knows? I don't even know at this point. All I know is that based off of what Jack said originally around a year ago, that shows that he let it happen multiple times before doing anything about it. In that case, again, we're not accusing Matt of doing it. That's only Jack. Jack is the one who's sitting here trying to accuse Matt of doing some shit. But I don't know. I would love to hear her talk more about this situation with the ex-employee. I feel like more needs to come out about that. And I kind of wish they didn't censor the name. But I guess if they're just like some random person, right, and it doesn't happen to be somebody like Matt, then maybe it's better it doesn't come out. I don't know. But anyways, regardless, if something like that happened to me, and hypothetically, let's just say if I'm McKinley, bro, I am not, you just lost me, man. I don't want anything to do with you. Let alone that it happened on the first night. Like, what? Now, I guess besides that, anyways, moving on, I just figured I would fast forwards through quite a bit of this, not the story, because the story pretty much ends like at the end of the last clip I just played. But next, essentially, she details why she stayed and why she didn't just like cut them off after that. And she also does talk about that apparently there was a really bad storm in Florida. Jack's house got flooded. He lost the house. A lot of his friends' cars were totaled because of it. And then that's when McKinley talks about how Jack wanted her to come back. He wanted her to be there for him. And she decided to go back. And she talks about how when she got there, because it was earlier in the morning, everybody was sleeping. There was alcohol out on the counter and whatnot. It was like messy and whatnot. So she decided to start cleaning. She was asked why she started cleaning. And she essentially said, I don't know, OCD. She just felt like she needed to clean. And while she happened to be cleaning, she looked up towards the stairs. stairs and saw this girl she had never seen before. She thought that was a little weird, and then shortly, Jack and his friends come down, and I'll just let her explain. How about that?
So I landed, I came to the house. It was a new house. They were staying in Airbnb because the one had flooded. And when I walked in, nobody was downstairs. It actually looked like a crazy like rager went on. Like there was alcohol everywhere, solo cups everywhere. It was a mess. So I remember, since no one was up and awake, even Jack, I was cleaning the area because I don't know.
What?
I was just cleaning. I felt like
Why?
I don't know. I was very, I don't know. I just started cleaning. OCD. I don't know. So as I'm cleaning, I look towards the stairs and I see this girl I've never seen in my life before. I had not met her. I didn't see any pictures of her. She walks downstairs and I'm just like, well, okay, well, I don't know who that is. We didn't really speak or talk. It was a little awkward. And then he walks downstairs and just starts laughing, like with his friends. And I was just like, like what's going on? He was very awkward hugging me. And I was like, this doesn't like seem right. Like I'm confused. As soon as everyone wakes up and like the girls come to me, even his own friends, everyone that worked for him came up to me and said, listen, Jack hooked up with a girl last night. I don't want you to freak out.
Oh yeah, fuck me. I'm not gonna.
Right.
What are you fucking talking about? I just flew fucking across the fucking nation.
Right. That's what I was really upset. Like my stomach, like I felt like a pit. I was like, damn, bro. But then they were like, but it's okay because he said that he thought it was you.
All right. Wait. Okay. Guys, probably shouldn't be laughing there, but like, what the fuck? Is anybody else just like cringing right now? And honestly, well, I guess we can say shocked, but I mean, are we really shocked? It's Jack Doherty, okay? This is why I literally been saying like, no fucking female out there hang out and then eventually hook up with Jack. Like, let's not. Don't even date him. No. He's shown his true colors. There's so many videos online going over his shitty antics, and if after watching one of those videos that isn't enough to convince you that Jack Doherty is probably someone who shouldn't be your fucking boyfriend, then you're probably the same person that would date Diddy. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying this about McKinley. I'm talking about like after all of this has come out and people still want to like fuck with Jack, including females of all people. Like, come on, bro. Like, it doesn't surprise me that it turns out, oh hey, Jack, after leading on another girl, happens to be having a hookup with another girl, as the girl that he's been leading on came back to his house across the country. And then when she decides to clean up their mess from the previous night, she sees this random female that she's never seen ever before, only for Jack to walk up and awkwardly hug her. Like, come on, bro. What the fuck? Jack Doherty really being like, how low can you go? How low? If the Olympics ever made like a limbo competition, right? Or like an event at the Olympics for who could do the lowest limbo, Jack would probably be like number one. He would get a gold medal, bro, because this guy is going fucking low as hell. How low can you go? Jack's got the gold medal. What a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Just pissed me off.
No, I mean, she had brown eyes. Like nothing looked like we looked nothing alike. But
she had like black hair, like jet black hair.
It wasn't my hair. It was not my hair.
Who would have known? He's delusional. All right, I need to stop. But yeah, guys, I mean, I hate to make this the kind of video where it's like, are we surprised that Jack would do something like this? Like, I hate to make it that, but it's literally like that. It's like, really? Are we fucking surprised? Now, again, this isn't like me trying to shit on McKinley. It isn't. I'm just saying, like, bro, this news is almost not news. I think anybody could have seen some weird shit like this happening from a mile away, or at least assume that some degenerate shit was going on.
Took it for how it was. I was like, let's just see how the day goes. And that was the day I met you. That was the day that we went on the yacht. The prank. Yeah, babe. You're wearing a yellow bikini.
Bitch, talk about bad timing.
No, it was like really bad timing. By the way.
Okay, let me preface here. Okay, now I look like a piece of shit, but I didn't know.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
The day I met McKinley, I was like working with Jack. I would say like I just started working with Jack, and he would go on these crazy yachts and like, you know, whatever. And he invited me on the yacht. So I was like, okay, cool. And he goes, listen, like I'm filming a YouTube video. And he was like, my girl McKinley he
said my girl.
Yes, like
Right.
you were his girl. Like it was very clear. Like he made it clear to me that like you were someone that he was seeing, so he wanted to pull a prank on you. And he was like, the video was that McKinley was gonna catch me and Jack like in this like yacht bedroom together, and there were like cameras everywhere, and she was gonna walk in, and it was gonna seem like
You guys were together.
we were together, and you were supposed to see it, and I was supposed to be like, oh no, it's a prank. That was a real thing that happened, and me not knowing that a real situation like this happened
The day that you did it, yeah.
the same day.
The same
It's so
day.
funny. Not funny. It's ironic how as soon as she opened the door, her face just was kind of like, and then she closed the door and walked out.
Guys, like, is anybody else thinking what I'm thinking? Is this like some weird ass kink that Jack has going on here? Leads on another girl, sleeps with another one only for the other girl, McKinley, to find out. And then on the very same day, they do a fucking YouTube video with this Camilla girl on the yacht. And guess who it happens to be a prank on? McKinley. What the fuck, dude? My mind is just fucking like blown from the amount of fucking like just stupid shit that this guy does. I mean, like again, if it came out that this was like some sort of weird kink that Jack had or something, that would make a lot more sense than like, oh yeah, he just did it to do it. And then, you know, a little bit later on the yacht, he reenacts it for a YouTube video, but they aren't actually like sleeping together, I guess, in the way that you would think. It's just so fucking weird, bro. I swear, man. This is why I came back to YouTube, because there's just like too much shit to go over with absolute retards like our friend here, Jack Doherty, but he's not our friend. Now, moving forward in this video, right, besides all of what we have already gone over, she talks more about how they weren't technically boyfriend and girlfriend, but obviously he was saying things like, oh yeah, my girl McKinley and stuff like that, right? Well, apparently McKinley goes on to say that she was being badmouthed, and apparently some of the other girls did not like her and were jealous of her because, you know, Jack was showing interest in her. And all while like this disrespect was going down, like the sleeping with other girls and hanging out with other girls and disrespecting her in that way, somebody that he was leading on in a way, she claimed that essentially he would love bomb her. And she didn't exactly say it like that, she didn't use that term, but basically what she describes he was doing were signs of love bombing. For those who are unaware, love bombing is an emotional manipulation tactic that involves showering a new partner with excessive affection, flattery, and gifts to create a sense of intense attachment and dependency. The behavior is often used by individuals with narcissistic or insecure tendencies to gain control over their target. It is not genuine love, but a means of control that often precedes abusive behavior. Exactly what we saw in this case between Jack Doherty and McKinley. I've detailed it in my other videos. It's very clear that Jack is a narcissistic person, has some sort of narcissistic thing going on with him. Now, of course, I don't think he's diagnosed with any like narcissistic personality disorder, like things like that, right? But it's very obvious that he only really cares about himself, and he will often use people to get what he wants, or use people for, say, content or OnlyFans. And we've seen that in every situation that we have covered with Jack Doherty and McKinley, including on the cruise ship. And I brought that up because she literally details in her interview the first signs of love bombing, where he was making her feel special in terms of like saying that she's better than the other girls and whatnot, saying that she's gonna be his wife or whatever, stuff like that, along with also flying her out and whatnot, making her feel special, only for her to realize that he slept with another girl. And I know they weren't dating, but he was obviously making it seem like he wanted to start something serious by the things he was saying, as we all know.
We were continuing for 2 months to just drink and go to dinner and go on boats. And then I had went back home to Vegas for like a few days. And then I went back, and that's when he moved into his brand new house. And by the way, I also want to mention that he didn't pull out a camera or film anything when I was getting to know him. He didn't prioritize filming whatsoever. I had no idea how anybody made money in that house. I was like, nobody's filming videos. What is everyone doing? It was just fun.
Well, isn't that weird? I think we have our thoughts on what it could have been. You know, the conspiracies, right? That former employees have brought out and accused him of doing, locking girls into predatory OnlyFans contracts and stuff like that. Again, I'm not saying it's factual, like 100% factual, but it's very weird when somebody is flexing all the things that they have, like the flashy cars, the flashy house. They happen to be partying every single day of their life, going on yachts, drinking and shit like that, and you don't know what they do to make their money. I mean, I guess besides like the OnlyFans or whatever, that's a little suspicious, isn't it? It's not always a good sign if you can't figure out where they're making their money from. Like, say, for example, if they are partying every day and they don't go to work, you don't have the cameras out, so like, how would he be making money there? Like, it's very fucking odd.
No, alcohol was something that I never needed to, you know, have conversations with people, but he was very locked in, I would say, like to his phone and to his job. And
Really?
he is. And it's a really bad, anyone close to him knows.
I kind of, you know, I knew because I've watched him like during like the Tesla stream, like,
yeah.
and he would joke around and be like, bro, you gotta do Adderall, like it'll keep you, it's so W, bro, like
Yeah.
it'll keep you sharp, like it'll keep you going, like bro, I've like 3 days, you know what I mean, like, but at the same time though, like I know he does have like ADHD, so I was like, okay, maybe. I genuinely at some point was like, oh, it's just like he's just prescribed Adderall and he takes Adderall.
Right. That, no, he buys it, and he's actually not prescribed even anymore, but that it became a problem with him, especially with the drinking. That's why he got so drunk, because he was, you know, tweaking out on Adderall as well, and that's something you can't mix. So that's why I really looked out for him, and I worried for him because I knew he was taking the Adderall, and I didn't think it was a problem at first. I really didn't, because again, like, you know, people are prescribed Adderall for ADHD,
Yeah.
and he clearly, like, he has ADHD.
Yeah.
But he would take it in ways that you shouldn't take it, like popping 2 at once. And you would have that, you know, that feeling of just like bouncing off the walls. That's why he was, you know, so blackout drunk when he would drink. It was that on top of the alcohol, mixing that. It was horrible. There were times where I felt like I had to call the fucking ambulance because he was saying, like, I feel like I'm going to die. My heart's beating out of my chest. And I was like, you cannot mix these things. Like, I don't know what to do. But this was something that he took, you know, sober too. When I went there and like we went to the new house and he started filming more, you know, his way of success was Adderall. And he would always make jokes about that. He would give it to his employees. He would say, you'll work better if you take this. You'll be more sharp. You'll be more efficient. Like you said, like he really tried to get a lot of his employees on it because they were doing exactly what he was doing. He needs his filmer to be on Adderall. He would want the people he's working with to be on the same page because you're just like go, 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 constant go.
Yeah, guys, remember what he said in the last video about how, you know, his heart beating so fast when, you know, the other streamer touched his chest, right? He was saying that was because he was on Adderall, right? Well, before that, before blatantly coming out and saying that, you know, he was on Adderall and whatnot, he might have a substance abuse problem, right? Even Matthew JGL, the former employee that I did that massive video on covering like the allegations and the things that he was saying about Jack Doherty and what was going on in his inner circle, well, Matthew did also bring up the Adderall thing. So we got multiple sources, including Jack Doherty, saying that he was on Adderall, and still to this day, I guess, is on Adderall. Might have to start censoring these words because I don't know what YouTube's gonna deem as, oh, not safe. But yeah, guys, please do not abuse substances in any way possible. It's not good, and I think most of us know that. But based off of what everybody is saying about Jack, including himself, it seems like he has a very big issue, more than just being a piece of shit.
Again, I felt very uninvolved in everything, and on top of that, he would, you know, shower me with gifts and spoil me, and that was something that, you know, I was very thankful for, but it also became very negative because I realized that the girls were really upset about it, and I was confused because I was like, are they just, he was telling me they were jealous. I was like, well, it might be that, but it's like, why are they so upset at you getting me these things if you're not a, you know, if you don't have a relationship with any of the other girls? Like, it's just a little weird. Because if I'm your girl, then it wouldn't be weird for them to see that you're buying me anything. So a few weeks pass, you know, I'm still doing my things. I'm getting sent, you know, clothes, and I'm modeling the clothes, and I'm doing brand deals in the house. And I remember one of the girls had a conversation with him and just said, you know, like, what value does she bring to you? Like, she brings no value. She makes you no money.
Huh?
Yeah. She was like, all she does is take selfies, and she's around the house, and she does this. She's unemployed. She doesn't do anything. Like, she doesn't make you any money. That's when I started piecing together that these girls, you know, they make money from OnlyFans, but he also takes a large chunk. And I never knew what chunk of money was taken because he has everyone on NDAs. And they were unable to talk about it. But also at the same time, I did have a lot of the girls confide in me because I wasn't involved. And I had no involvement in the business side of things. And they would just tell me, like, you know, how unhappy they are with the contract that they're in.
All right, it's very good that she's coming out and saying this. So she's saying that apparently the other girls were mad when Jack would give McKinley like gifts and stuff like that, buy her things. And then she continues to talk about how apparently some of the other girls that happen to be around him daily and whatnot and live with him do OnlyFans. And apparently Jack has them in contracts under NDAs, taking a huge portion of the money that they make off their OnlyFans. This is not the first time I've heard something like this. I've heard this from Matthew, the former employee. I've heard this, I'm pretty sure, from Sam Frank. And talking about Sam Frank, I mean, I know they're not dating anymore, but that's something that Neon was also talking about, the predatory contracts. But no, that's big. I'm happy that she actually talked about that even a little bit in this interview, because if this is true, he's taking advantage of these girls with the OnlyFans and stuff like that, let alone, I mean, if it turns out that the underage allegations and he is potentially getting underage people to do OnlyFans and, you know, take money, right? Again, these are allegations from the former employee. But if it turns out that this is true, this guy needs to be fucking locked up. And I've said this before. And they need to search his whole house too, because it's like, you never know. He could have a whole closet of baby oil.
He ends up this one night taking me to dinner. He said that it was a business dinner. And he was like, I want you to come with me. I'm meeting up with my business guy. I'm not saying his name. We end up going. It's a really nice dinner. It's with a bunch of other people I had never met before, but it was this older guy. And Jack introduced me to him. We start talking a little bit, and he just brings up, so why don't you have an OnlyFans? This man, he's like in his 40s.
And you've never met him before?
Never had met him before. I was like, well, it kind of caught me off guard, especially like coming from an older man. I was just kind of like, that's the first thing you say to me is, why don't you have an OnlyFans? I was like, it's against my morals. That's all I said. I was like, it's just the way I was raised. Like, I that's something not in the cards for me. And I'm firm on that. And he said, fuck your morals. He said, fuck your morals. And I didn't know what to say to that. Like, I've never had anyone, especially, you know, again, an older person saying that to me. And I was really offended. I was sitting there at the dinner table, you know, they're just talking about random things. And when we got in the car, I told Jack, I was like, I'm offended. Like, I don't want you to put me in a situation like that ever again, because you know how I feel about all of this. And that was like really like awkward for me.
It's because all of these people that happen to be around Jack Doherty and engaging in this fucking really shady business model, most likely taking advantage of girls who are doing OnlyFans, whether or not those girls happen to actually be underage or overage, we frankly do not know. But these people, they clearly don't give a shit. They don't care if it's morally right to do, morally wrong. They don't give a fuck. As long as they're taking advantage, making money, it's all that matters. It reminds me of something straight out of Las Vegas, bro. Like, these are some huge things that she is going into, and if this is true, they need to fucking lock this guy up, along with the people who are like telling her things like this and asking, oh hey, why don't you have an OnlyFans, and fuck morals, like shit like that. Like, I don't know how deep this is and how involved some of these people are, but like, bro, like, man, if I were her, and I understand, like, you know, missing the red flags because, you know, you look up to Jack Doherty and he's got this huge social platform, platform or whatnot. Like, I understand that, but knowing what we know about Jack now, please, if you're a female and you see something in Jack, or you want to date Jack, or you want to get near Jack or whatever, please get super fucking far away and don't even think about getting anywhere near him, just based off of what this former partner of Jack Doherty is saying on this interview. Like, I know former partners can lie, but I don't think she's lying. I really don't. Let alone that, like, we also have other people who have came out, like the former employee Matthew. We have them saying very similar things, very fucking similar things. So in the next part, around the 1 hour mark, she's talking about the OnlyFans that she made and how that whole thing happened, right? Because I was wondering this too. I was wondering if she was ever going to address this, or like say, oh yeah, this is why I made it or whatever. And I think we all know why she made it, but let's listen to what she has to say.
I'll never forget this night. Michelle walked into the bathroom I was in. I was by myself, and she basically told me, listen, don't freak out, but Jack really wants you to start OnlyFans, and he said that there's no reason for you guys to be together if you're not helping. And I broke down in tears. I was like, wow, like everything that he had said to me, like, oh, I know you're my wife because you don't have one, and getting me to go to dinner and try to get me on OnlyFans, but it didn't work. Now it's an ultimatum. He wanted me, when he realized he didn't have the control over me when it came to other people and like what they could say, he realized that he did need to create an ultimatum for me. And that was hard for me. And he knew that. He knew what I felt and how I felt about him and the whole situation, and how I would tell him like how happy I was and like how this is so fun for me. So I cried and I was like, let me talk to Jack. Like, I just need to talk to him. I was thinking, you know, if I go and talk to him and just say, you know, this is how I feel about this, like he'll respect it again. And like, if he sends me home and, you know, doesn't want to be with me because of this, then like, I guess it is what it is. But I didn't want to lose that. And that was what I was like prioritizing. It wasn't what I could make on OnlyFans. I had no idea. I had no idea how much money you could make on OnlyFans. I just knew that I really liked this guy and that he was such a safety blanket for me. I felt like he was always there when I needed something. If I needed to go to the doctor, he would make sure I would go to the doctor. He was very caring.
So yeah, I mean, as you guys can hear right there, I mean, she was literally manipulated. Like, I don't know what other way to put it except for she was manipulated. Especially when it comes down to the whole power dynamic that is going on here, and her looking up to Jack and Jack using that, and like also making ultimatums where it's like, either you have to start the OnlyFans or you're done. Like, you're gone. We don't want to see you ever again, right? Very clear manipulation. And when it comes down to like revealing your body, like, you know, OF, how is that not like some sort of like sexual harassment, bro? Like, I'm sorry, that's something I never really understood. It's like, if you are forcing somebody to like make an OnlyFans or something, or like take advantage of somebody, like get them to sign a contract like Jack Doherty is, to get them to do like OnlyFans and like put their body out there for like horny men to see, I will never understand how like trying to pressure them into doing something like that, revealing their body for that kind of thing, is not sexual harassment. Like, at the least, by the way, at the fucking least, like, there is a massive issue here, and she 100% was a victim, especially if she was forced, like it sounds like, to make this OnlyFans by Jack and the other guys there, even if the only thing it was for was money.
They were like, this is going to be the biggest success ever. And Jack was telling me, he was like, you're going to be, you know, my main girl. Like, we can post together, we can finally act like boyfriend and girlfriend, we can start doing things together, and like, it's not reasonable for you to be in my life if you're not involved in my life. And I understood that at the time. I now, if that was said to me, it would be a lot different. I think we changed so much. When I was 20, I'm not the same person as I was when I was 20. Like, I've grown a lot in these 2 years, and I really believe that me being a supportive girlfriend, if I am in this guy's life and he does YouTube and all of these things and he's filming his life constantly, why wouldn't I, you know, help him? It was never a me thing. It was never, oh, I think I should do this. I think we would do great together. It was him and saying he had a vision and that we could make something great. So I tried to shut down the conversation and I just agreed to it. And in my head, I was like, I am not doing this. I'll have a conversation with him tomorrow and I'll just be like, listen, I've been thinking about it. I can't do it.
I agree. Like currently we're still young adults. Like I'm 21 myself. Like I've made a lot of dumb mistakes since I've turned 18. And I look back to even like a couple of years ago and see some of the things I've done. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck was I doing? Why did I even think that like being how I was in the past was even the slightest bit okay? Especially when it came down to like the YouTube videos. Like I was so like cutthroat in the beginning. Like I would literally like, if you were like cringe, like I made a video on a furry once and I didn't listen to anything they had to say in terms of like opinions and whatnot and takes that they had. I listened to nothing they said and I basically said, well, since you're a furry, I don't believe anything you say. You're disgusting. Now, don't get me wrong, not a fan of furries. And I'm not saying you need to be a fan of furries, but like when somebody is making a point, making a take, and you discredit them because they're a fucking furry and you don't like them, well, yeah, that says a lot more about you than it does about them being a furry. Let's be real. Like I sometimes go back to some of my older videos and I'm like, bro, I couldn't even talk properly in my videos. Like, trust me, if you go back to some of them, you will realize like I do not sound as clear, and I'm not like, I upgraded my mic, I will be real, but just the way I was articulating, I sounded like I was stupid or something. I'm gonna be real. And honestly, because of how I was in the past with like the videos I made and stuff like that and the mistakes I made, it's just a motivating factor for me. And I think McKinley feels the same way based off what she's saying. Like it's a motivating factor to look at how you were and the mistakes you made in the past and be like, I'm never gonna be like that ever again. And I'm going to try my fucking hardest to make sure I do better and I don't make the same mistakes that I made previously, because it says a lot more about you if you keep making the same mistakes over and over again than, oh, hey, you made a mistake one time and then, you know, you became better, right? I think everybody agrees with that. But no, we're all still young adults. Well, most of us. I can't say the same thing for everybody watching the video, but in terms of Jack Doherty, McKinley, and like all these people, we're still in our 20s. Most of us are in our younger 20s. So I really do get the whole thing of like making mistakes and, you know, in her case, being taken advantage of and being manipulated. Like I totally understand it, and it definitely is not her fault. And I really do believe that since she has taken the huge step in getting away from Jack and the people who are around him, I think that is the best thing. And I've said this in my video where I was going over her getting away from Jack and, you know, having the police show up and whatnot. I think that's the best thing for her. That is the first step at recovery and moving on from a complete and total piece of shit. So props to her for that, honestly. But anyways, let's continue.
I woke up and that morning he had a contract in hand and he told me to sign it. I didn't even have the opportunity to talk to my parents about it. I was going to call my mom because my mom was more comforting, you know, in that situation, because my dad obviously didn't want to talk to him about that at all. But I didn't even have time for that or for any legal representation. He gave me the contract and he basically just said sign it. I read through it and I didn't like how it said, you know, he owns all of my social media accounts, because again, I had a following. I had 500,000 followers on TikTok. I had over 100K on Instagram. That was something I had built for years. And that was something that I held very close to me. So I was like, I just want to make sure, like, in this contract, do you actually own all of my accounts, even the ones that I have? And then he was like, no, the contract means nothing. Like, we can change anything, but it's whatever. Just sign it.
No, he's fucking deceiving you. That's what he was doing there, bro. Holy shit. And the fact that somebody who was this close to him, who was actively saying, oh, hey, I didn't want to fucking do an OnlyFans or whatever, like that's against my values and my family values and shit like that. The fact that she is saying what she is right now, especially when it comes down to him saying that in the contract, he's going to be owning all of your social media accounts, and like he wants that in writing. He wants you to sign something that literally says that, so that he literally, quite frankly, does own your social media accounts, including the OnlyFans and whatnot, and he's taking whatever percentage he's taking off of the OnlyFans. Like, bro, that is a fucking legal document, and if you try to sue him or get any like legal representation, you ain't gonna be able to do shit, bro. You fucking agreed to a contract. Like, holy shit, this is insane. This is fucking insane. And I haven't said this, and I know it's been like 40 minutes. Please leave your comments down below on how you feel about all of this, because this is just crazy. The amount of manipulation and taking advantage. I mean, that's like the same fucking thing, but it's just like, what am I watching? I genuinely feel bad for her. I really do.
So I signed it. And then first words that came out of his mouth were, "You're now Jack Doherty's girlfriend." And that was the day that we had a label.
Wait. Whoa. You are now Jack Doherty's girlfriend? Excuse me? What the fuck weird ass shit is this, dude? In all my years in content creation, I have not seen anything like this or heard anything like this. But if this is true, bro, under the jail, bro. Under the fucking jail. Well, maybe not under the jail. I'm gonna be real. Maybe this doesn't say too much in terms of, oh, hey, he can get arrested for something like this. But like, bro, this is like some insane ass fucking like morally reprehensible type shit going down here. Like Jack Doherty really found a way to go lower than low.
I was still waiting on the, actual ask and like the, hey, will you be my girlfriend? But from that day forward, he filmed with me, filmed videos with me, and called me his girlfriend online. So I was like, well, at least he's labeling it as we're boyfriend and girlfriend online. That's different than what he used to do. Like, he didn't do any of that. But again, I'm still lacking the, hey, will you be my girlfriend? Like, we're dating now. Like, we never talked about it. It was just kind of unspoken.
Nah, dude, and I hate to keep pausing the video because we are already going past an hour at this point. I would like to say this is some weird ass shit. This is not like some relationship or whatever, let alone that earlier in the video that I kind of skipped over because I didn't think it really mattered was she did say that they didn't do the dirty until like a year and a half like after they met or whatever. It's like, bro, there is so much wrong with this. So much. And I'm pretty sure Jack has a new girlfriend. I mean, I made a video about that. I think I took that video down though, but besides that, I'm pretty sure he has a new girlfriend unless they broke up or something. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping up with him, but it's just crazy that this is what like the former partner of Jack Doherty is saying, along with the former employee saying similar ass shit. Anyways, let's continue here.
But I'll never forget this time we went to New York to his parents' house. It was like my first time meeting, people close to him, and one of his really close friends that he grew up with, she asked, what are you guys? Are you boyfriend and girlfriend? And that was the first time someone had asked like that question. And I didn't say anything. I looked at Jack and I was like, are we? And he was like, what's the difference? And then I was like, there's a huge difference. I was like, what do you mean? Like the label, I feel like girlfriend and boyfriend, you're exclusive to each other. You're with each other, and like, that's that. And he was like, well, I would never ask you to be my girlfriend. That's gay. And I was like, well, I
would never ask you to be my girlfriend. That's homosexual.
Right.
Wait, it just keeps getting better, bro. If this is actually true, it's getting better. It's getting real good. The plot is thickening, guys. Like, what the hell is going on? You guys hear this? I would never ask a girl to be my girlfriend. That's gay. Well, maybe you're just fucking retarded. How about that? And the fact that if somebody is like gonna come up to you and ask like, hey, you boyfriend and girlfriend, and you're just gonna like say that, oh, well, that's the same or whatever the fuck they said he said. Like, it's just, my mind is breaking right now. I'm sorry. Let's just roll the video. Come on, let's go. I might have to pack it up after this video.
The second I signed to him and gave him, access to my accounts and all of this stuff, the disrespect started showing. Like, he was not as respectful as he was in the beginning. A dinner, you could forget about it. We never went on dates. We never did anything like how we did in the past. He was strictly just, content.
So essentially what you're telling us is that you got trapped, because in the beginning, Jack was trying to make it seem like, oh, everything is great. We go on the yacht every day. We get drunk, whatever. We have a good old time partying. And then after you signed that contract, since he got you, he started disrespecting you even more than he already had been, leading you on and then, having hookups with other girls. But since he knew he got you locked in, and in a way you were kind of stuck, kind of trapped, he got what he wanted. And along with being a shitty quote-unquote boyfriend, since apparently he didn't want to ask you to be his girlfriend because he thought that's gay, like, this whole situation is just fucked. Like, once again, I understand, oh yeah, the power dynamic, she looks up to him because he seems like he's a cool guy and whatnot, but it's just like, oh my fucking god, bro.
So I was like, how do you keep up with all of this stuff? Like, I'm exhausted. Like, how does your life, like, how do you continue to do this? And he was like, it's Adderall. Like, you should try. He was like, you will be successful. I'm not proud of it at all, but I had a horrible Adderall addiction. dating him because of him telling me I needed to keep up with him. And also it's like when Jack's face is somewhere, I was always there. I had to keep up with him without that substance. And when I did that, I felt more motivated, and it gave me a feeling. I'm not on it anymore, thankfully, but that ruined my life. I couldn't function without it. It became...
So when he did it, you would do it?
When he did it, I would do it. Every morning before I could even eat breakfast, I did it because we needed to go downstairs and film as soon as, we woke up. We had no time to eat. He hated when people ate. He would get mad at people when we were eating and saying we were wasting time and we needed to focus on content and we're taking too long to eat. So I went through a very long period with just not eating and just waking up and taking Adderall. And I weighed 140 pounds when I moved down to Florida. I wasn't eating for like a week at a time. Like I was just not hungry. I was stressed out. I was depressed because, again, I'm dealing with him constantly flirting with girls in front of me. He's telling me one thing. I'm so confused, all while trying to prove to him that I am different and I want to work.
This is awful. This is just, nobody should be treated like this. She shouldn't have been treated like this. If anything, Jack should be treated like this, actually. Yeah, no, this is awful. And I don't know what else to say. So in the next part, McKinley actually wanted to show a video clip of some of the early days of what Jack's streams looked like. And she wanted to use this as the way to show the difference of how the content was in the beginning versus as the years went on. And I'm actually gonna have to blur a lot of this because I mean there are some clips where Jack Doherty gets slapped and stuff like that.
Somebody called and said you wanted to yourself.
Bitch ass nigga. Yeah. I told you. Whatever. My chat's not gonna carry your chat.
Recording. I'm gonna play the camera. I don't care.
Don't touch it. This guy. Stop, Trump. Oh, fuck.
What's up? Hey, one by one. What's up, nigga? Fuck you, bitch. What?
Wait, what'd he do?
I don't know.
Wait, did he take? I didn't do anything. It's because we're all minors. I have a problem. I'm going to rehab, okay?
But in these early days of streaming, again, OnlyFans was very new to me. It was something I was very insecure about. That was something I got to a point where I was like, I can't even look at you in the mirror, like to myself. Like I didn't know how to tell people. I didn't want people to know that about me in this moment. And while he was streaming, he would have these people come over and grill me and say, you're going to hell. You are like just constant degrading comments, which made me overthink a lot of things. And all of this is happening on live stream. So it's not only, just happening in private, but these things are getting said to me. And all while he's mistreating me. He's actively cheating on me, telling me it's all just for content. I was so emotional. I was crying constantly. He would come over to me and say, it's all for content. It's all fake. Like, don't worry about it. It's all for the camera. Like, I'm here for you when I'm not streaming. Like, it's just for the stream.
Yeah, again, it just seems like a really shitty situation that I'm really happy you left. Even though it was a little bit later than you should have, I'm not blaming you. It's just important that everybody realize, including yourself, that thank God you were actually able to get out of the situation and get away from this asshole.
A big chunk of things were filmed when I didn't even want them to be filmed. A lot of emotional things happened to me, traumatic events. One of them being he flipped an entire golf cart on top of me on purpose, and it was for a clip. I know that because he was trying his best to flip it, and you can see in the footage the only thing that he was looking for was the camera to see if they got it. I want to insert that clip and show you guys what had happened.
Oh, fuck.
I was in so much pain. He thought it was not that big of a deal. This, again, happened on camera, and he was just worried about getting the good clip and seeing it on TikTok, not making sure I was okay. I knew I needed to go to the hospital when this happened to me. But he had prior obligations to go on a yacht with Antonio Brown, so it wasn't a priority.
And you know what's crazy about that is that he did the same thing with when he crashed that car going down the freeway hydroplaning. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. He had his cameraman who was like all cut up and whatnot from the crash and was actively bleeding, hold the camera and film. Like he was content brain to a very unhealthy extent, and it was awful.
Like, well, maybe if I go to the house and like I'll feel better, I'll get a heat pad. Maybe it's fine. I'm bruised up. When I'm on the way in the Uber and I'm sitting upright, I'm realizing like this is bad. Like I'm in pain. I definitely need to do something. And I walk into the house. Everyone is there. Logan, his friend, and a bunch of the other people were there. And they looked at me and were like, "We need to go to the hospital. Like we'll go with you." So they were kind enough and realized, you know, they watched it live and they were really pissed off at him for acting that way and, you know, not caring about my well-being and not making sure I was okay. They ended up Ubering with me to the hospital. And when I went, Jack had met me there and he had a camera and he was filming me. I was so embarrassed because I'm like, I'm in the hospital, you're filming all of these things. He was like, "You're the baddest one in the hospital on video." And I was like, I'm just not in the mood for this, but
Of fucking course, bro. You've got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. How low can you go? Jack Doherty, how low can you fucking go? This is crazy, dude. This is probably one of the most craziest videos I've had to make, bro. And people were telling me, "Bro, stop milking Jack Doherty. Stop talking about him." Well, I had to talk about this. Like, I literally had to. Had not wanted to. I mean, I kind of did, but I had to. And I don't see why anybody watching this far in the video would be like, "Yeah, he shouldn't have made another video." Because this is obviously something that needs to be like brought out to more people. I mean, I know this video has 2 million views on it, but like, come on, bro. But anyways, moving on. You guys probably remember how she got robbed at gunpoint, right? And everybody thought that that was a skit or whatever. Well, she goes into detail about that too. She does cry while talking about this too because it was a traumatic experience. And yeah, it genuinely sucks that she had to go through that. Let alone that Jack, once again, I mean, we covered this situation. I mean, he used it for content. It was on his stream, and that shouldn't have happened. Like, I'm telling you, it's been like a whole thing, a whole lineup of events that happened that even I started realizing, like, Jack Doherty is a piece of shit, if you can even call him a boyfriend. Piece of shit fucking boyfriend, quote unquote. And as I was going through this too, because I'm probably not gonna play any more of it because it's pretty much over, she even claims that Jack said that he thought it was hot when McKinley cried and whatnot, and like saying she looked good when she cried or something. Like, the last thing I would say, okay, and dude, I just haven't been in a relationship for a very long time, since I was a child, right? And the fact that relationships even happened when I was a child is just like, it's embarrassing. You have no idea what you're doing, but besides me, if somebody that I'm supposed to like be there for and love and care for, supposed to be my significant other, is like crying because of something that I caused, they were upset because I did something and they obviously didn't feel good about it at all, hence the crying. There's no way that I am telling them they look hot when they cry. That's fucking weird, bro. Let alone that, like, the guy makes it very clear that he does not care about his fucking girlfriend. Like, it just baffles me that people like Jack Doherty, I mean, because of, I guess, you know, he has like this big business or whatever, but I mean, just with like normal average guys, because there are piece of shit guys out there who do take advantage or like use women for their bodies and stuff like that. It's just like, it's super sad. It really is, because what that does is it makes a lot of women, and I'm not saying that McKinley feels this way. Pretty sure she has a new boyfriend or whatever, right? That's the last thing I heard about that. But no, things like this and being taken advantage of, being used and stuff like that, like, it really does hurt them. But on top of that, it doesn't make guys as a whole look good at all. And it truly is unfortunate, because there are a lot of good people out there, but there are also a lot of bad people out there that do hurt women all the time. And it truly is a sad thing. It really is. is. And again, maybe not on the level of like Jack Doherty, but shit similar to this happens all the time and it's really sad. But yeah, I guess with that all being said, I'm going to be wrapping up the video right there. This is, I mean, I'm gonna be real. I wish I could make it shorter, but here's the thing. When I make it shorter, I made it a lot shorter than it would have been, honestly, if I were to sit through the whole video. But other people in this space have talked about this video and I guess the other video too. I'm gonna save the other video for another time. Maybe next week. It's gonna be long too, I'm guessing. I gotta like go through that whole video. It's like 3 hours long. No idea what they discussed in it, but in order to cover all of like the main and big points along with giving my commentary and criticism, I spent a lot of time sifting through the whole video and making sure that a lot of like what needs to be heard is in my video, unlike some of the other channels that make like 8-minute videos somehow on like a video like this, and they only like talk about, oh, McKinley was S8 or whatever in the bed, you know. Like, I'm gonna be real, I don't even care how long my videos are. If it's an hour long, like, it is what it is. We covered what we need to cover. I don't care. If people want to sit here and criticize me for that, just don't watch. I don't know what to tell you. And it's like, you also got the people who are like, well, just go watch the original video. Well, here's the thing. The reason why I'm covering it is to get more eyes on the topic and also get my thoughts and opinions on it, okay? That's the whole point. If you want to go watch the whole video, go watch the whole video. You don't need to leave a comment being like, oh, holy yeah, bro. Just stop pausing the video. Just play the video so we can hear what's being said. Or I've also had other people say criticisms in the past where it's like, don't have the commentary YouTuber think for you. Just go make your own opinions and go and watch the original source content. Well, here's the thing. I don't care what anybody fucking says at this point. If you think that, you're just delusional, because I don't want to have to think for you. I just want to have my own thoughts and I want to put it out on a public platform. So if people want to watch it, find some sort of entertainment in what I'm doing, then boom, they got it. It's another reason why I tell people, it's like, you can find the video, unless it's Mav Attack, you can find the video on YouTube and you can watch it for yourself if you don't want to hear what I have to say or watch my content, okay? I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there, but people are just ridiculous. And then on top of that, saying that it's easy or something to sit here and go through hours worth of content and make informed opinions on that content, saying that that is easy. It's not. It took hours to do. I'm probably going on like 2 or 3 hours at this point, and this is only on the recording. This isn't even the editing that you see on the screen right now. So yeah, I don't want to hear it. But besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely leave a comment because I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. And yeah, with that all being said, my name is Breone. Hopefully, well, actually I gotta make another long video on that other video depending on what it's about and whether we should talk about it. Hopefully it's a deep dive into what Jack is doing with his OnlyFans business. But yeah, hopefully besides this and that video, we will be able to get these video lengths back down to 20 or around 30 minutes long, if not 10. So yeah, my name is Breone and I will see you in my next video. Peace.